It's been 62 days since we were in Brazil for the finale of the Season 4 Drivers' Championship of EXFL Tier 2, with Joe Parcel winning out in an extraordinary battle with Josh Hewitt. They've both gone to Tier 1, along with a few other top names of the last season, such as Sasha, Nathan, Tyler and Oliver. But without further ado, welcome along to the EXFL Tier 2 for Season 5. It all starts here, F1 22. It's round 1 of 22 in this record-equaling season of races, and we are all set for the first race in Bahrain, where we are just waiting. And now we see all the drivers heading out onto the track now. I am your returning commentator from last season, F1 Union, and join with me, of course, it's MVR Nico.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is a fantastic time to be back, and I hope the Tier 2 drivers can put on an absolute show for us today.
So, new season, new cars, new tracks, new drivers. It's a whole new dawn for the league. How are you feeling ahead of this season, and what do you expect for round 1, Nick?
It's going to be exciting. There might be a few changes in the grid. Maybe some of the drivers that were at the lower side of the championship last season, maybe rocketing up to the top, and maybe vice versa. We see some of the championship contending drivers from last season drop to the mid-pack, but I'm sure every single driver will be fighting at the best of their abilities.
Yes, indeed. As we are just setting up all the visuals, we think that should be alright. We don't really need to see what gear they're going in. We can see their lap time, the list of cars, the track map, and I think that should be alright. Welcome everyone who's watching. Hope you're having a brilliant day. And we sure, because EXFL is back, and we're just waiting to see. Can you see anyone who's on a lap yet? I think James has just started.
Yeah.
Right, so Nick, do you want to have the honour of taking us through the first lap with James?
I will. In the Mercedes coming into turn 1 now, he just clips the apex, getting on the traction nicely through turn 2. Very hard on his game. He activates the DRS, heading up to turn 4, bringing it just off of the 100 metre board, clipping the apex nicely now, making sure to get onto the throttle nice and quickly, runs it to the exit, brings it to the left and swings it through the right and back to the left again, making sure not to come over the curb too much. Braking heavily into turn 8. He misses the apex slightly, but hopefully he'll get a better run. Into turn 9 and 10, very easy to lock up the left front. He clips the curb on the outside, it makes him go a little bit deep. Unfortunately, he activates the DRS once again. Into turn 11, braking it just before the 50 metre board this game. He clips the apex nicely. He brings it to the middle of the track. Holds it through turn 11 again, into turn 12, very easy to hit that inside curve and spin. Now into turn 13, very blind corner onto the entry. Now down the back straight. At the end of the lap, it's coming all together for James. Just off the 100 metre board into turn 14. And now the little kink of turn 15 on the power fully activates the DRS, and that is the first lap of the EXFL F1 22.
Thank you very much. 130.7, we've been having a few yellows during that lap, as I was just sending the stream off to the announcements chats. Who else is on a lap? Actually, I think we should take you through our new lineup of Smithy F1. Puts in a 30.5. We were a bit late as we had to start the stream during qualifying, as Thieves now beats that with a 29.6. Good lap from him. Right, returning champions Aston Martin have a completely new lineup of Chaz F1 and Kian Reynolds. Ferrari, I'm a Wild Matt, who's reserving for Bram. And Thieves, of course, now moving to Ferrari. Red Bull, Crudevez, and also Josh, who unfortunately cannot make round 1 tonight, but hopefully he'll be back for round 2. Obviously, Mert lineup, James and Connor, Carbro. Alpine is Lenny and Gotta Go Ham, and also Theo, but obviously he can't make it tonight. And we'll take you through the rest of the grid later on. As Crudevez has done a 28.9, and he's gone 6/10 ahead of Chaz F1, who's done a 29.5, 1/10 clear of Thieves, as Seb places his car in 4th place with a 29.8. We're yet to see from Kian Reynolds, Amar, Matt, Nathan, Arsenal, Warren and Lenny and Carbro, as he's invalidated. I don't think any of them are on laps, apart from maybe Arsenal, but he's just invalid. Warren's on an out lap. So what about Matt? Matt's just coming across the line to start maybe another lap, because he invalidated. He did back off, and let's see if he can go again. He's heading into turn 1 now. In the Ferrari, he bounces over the curbs as we got a yellow in sets 2. I think it's just the McLarens on their out lap. Taking a tight exit of turn 3. Now going very wide, heading into turn 4. It's a simple track, but you can gain so much time if you just change one thing about how you drive this circuit. It's a 28.7 for the first sector. Matt, who was originally going to race for Aston Martin and be Kieran Reynolds' teammate, has dropped down to reserve. Fully his decision. As he's just heading through turn 10 now. What else can you see on track, Nick?
I'm seeing the two McLarens. We've got Warren crossing the line now, and Jaden has headed into the pit. So let's go on board with Warren into turn 1. He brakes just before the 100 meter board, running in nice and early, taking that apex very nicely. He brings it over to the right perfectly on the traction, and he's got a little bit of traffic out front. Hopefully they get out of the way quickly, and good luck to Warren on his lap.
I'm just asking, how is the stream? Hopefully it's all good. It says purple set to 1 for Warren. If that is the case, then that would be great. As I did read a comment in the Tier 2 chat of someone saying Warren for Tier 2 champion. Stream good, stream is good. Okay, thanks Will. Right. Kim Reynolds still in the pit lane. I'm not sure if I heard him correctly, but maybe he wants to start last for this race.
We've got Warren coming into sector 3 now. Luckily the traffic got out of the way nicely for him. That was Lenny there. Warren coming into the penultimate corner now. Brakes nicely, nice and late, picks up the power. Nice and early. Now coming across the line, opens the DRS, shifts for 8, just runs out of DRS, and that's P9 with a 131.3.
Yep, didn't even realise, but Armand Matt's placed his Ferrari into P2 with a 29.4. Still half a second, pretty much, off Crew de Vase.
Just had a moment there for Carbro. I think it was purple sector 2, but just exited turn 13, lost the rear off the track.
Right, he's coming around the final corner now. He did some surprising result. Oh, he's going into the pit lane. I was going to say, towards the end of last season, he put in some great performances, and he did look like he was a bit becoming a bit of a top runner from a midfield driver. We'll see over the course of this season whether he can break out of the midfield section and maybe into a top 5 competitor. James, who was labelled pretty much the real life Pierre Gasly of getting P6 a lot last season, with a lot of people being promoted, maybe he can turn that to podiums, as I think he's starting a lap now. Second slowest at the moment, so he's still got to find some time. Right, right, we've got a yellow in sector 1. I think it's just Aston Martin, so now it's Chaz, and Kim Reynolds makes his debut of Season 5 onto the track, just for his outlap at the moment. Number 98, going along the straight between turn 10 and 11. You understood that, Nick? Is that all good?
Yeah, we've just seen Callum, I believe, spin around on the exit of turn 11. I think he might have caught the outside curve or caught too much inside curve, and he's looped it around, and he's got to go for a second run.
As indeed. Right, we've got McLaren going slowly into the final corner. That's Jaden Francis just going on a lap now. Right, who is on a lap? Gervais, I think, was on a lap. Oh yeah. Like, who's nearing the end of a lap then? Oh, here we go, James across the line now. Yep, in turn 1, he comes across the line. James goes up to P5, 29.7. It's very close, from second down to about 6th. And Jaden Francis will have to go again then.
I'm keeping my eyes peeled on Kim Reynolds. He seems to have backed off maybe into turn 1. A little bit coming off the throttle. I don't really know if that was a glitch or not.
Nathan puts his car P9 just behind his teammate in P8. So AlphaTauri, at least with 2 cars in the top 10 at the moment. Remember, all drivers will start on new tyres now for the race, not just the top 10. As Kean Reynolds is now starting his lap, but it's a 30.8, and that's quite a bit off as I think he's backed off.
There was some issues maybe going to turn 1 where the car slowed down or something, all by choice. Same happened into the entry of turn 4. But maybe he's just doing his stuff in prep like we see in real life all the time.
Right, Chaz F1, 28.5. I think that's the fastest first sector we've seen so far. He's 2.5 tenths up, so this would get him up to P2, but he's got to find a lot of time if he wants to beat Crudaveza's time, as that's a spin, and that's a lap ruined for Chaz F1. He'll have to go again. How long do we have left in this session? 6 minutes and 40 seconds.
6 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for the yellow to clear. Crudaveza's in the pit lane, so is Seb and Warren. Just waiting for Carbro, who's around. Remember, you can reset to track as well this season, so you are allowed to use that, and we won't have to monitor it, waste a bunch of time, and miss out on the action. Also, Lenny also got to put a time in, and Kean Reynolds, of course.
We've got Kean Reynolds now starting his lap, but apparently he spun before he even started his lap. So that's why he backed off. He braked nicely to turn 1. He misses the apex slightly, but he'll make sure to get that good traction. I mean, we know what Kean Reynolds can do. He showed it all last season. He's a man of a lot of pace. He understands the pressure. He uses it to fuel him, and that's what he can put on for us this season. A little bit of a wiggle there on the end of turn 4, and nearly an invalidation across turn 5 through turn 7.
28.7, 2 tenths off what Chaz F1 did before he messed up at this exact corner. He's got he's got a car in front of him, but it shouldn't be too much for us. I think that's Crudaveza's as he's heading down into the very tricky turn 10, probably the trickiest corner to get right on this track, and he's nailed that perfectly as he's going through one of the 2 DRS zones we have at this track, and he's just finishing sector 2 up now, getting as close as he can to those brake marker boards. Turns in early down to gear 4. Obviously, I don't think he even uses manual gears, but he loves this corner. He told me he's going to go flat out through here to end sector 2 now. This will be a representative time, 1 minute 6.9, so we know that's what he's doing when it comes to the final few laps, as we are approaching 5 minutes left in this qualifying session. He's got someone up ahead of him, but that shouldn't be too much of a nuisance. One more corner to go in this Bahrain circuit, and it looks like no loss of understeer for him so far. So across the line now for the first lap for Kean Reynolds. It's a 1:28.7. It puts him on provisional pole. 1.5 tenths exactly clear of Crudavez, and that is enough for the Aston Martin to be P1 currently. Everyone is in the pits from 4th down to 12th, but we've got Carbro just crossing the line now. I don't think that was a time enough. Got to go ham. Is on a lap. He's coming through the final corner now.
Stunning lap there from Kean Reynolds. First lap on track to set it, and he's put it right at the top of the board. You should maybe get another run in, as we've just seen one of the Red Bulls in there in front of him. So yeah, he should have another run in, and hopefully he can make that time extended.
Red Bull looks a lot darker. I'm guessing it's because of Bahrain at night, but it looks much better than when in the daytime. Right, Carbro, the only one not to set a lap so far. He's on a lap at the moment, heading into, once again, the tricky turn 10. Can he get it right? As we've got a yellow, I think that might be Chaz. As they're all heading up for their final runs, I'm going to get off his onboard because he's having that gear glitch. It looks alright so far. Heading through turn 11 now. Oh, he missed the apex there. He's going to have to climb his way back up and find some momentum if he wants this lap to be any good to get him in the top 10. At the moment, he'd have to beat Arsenal's 30.6 as he bumps over the curb and he rides the one on the outside. And now he's just got one corner and a bit of a half a straight to go. It looks good so far. I think this could put him as good as maybe P9.
I think he may have backed off on this lap, not sure.
Oh,
very smoothly on that straight. Maybe he's gone for a second run, but he's on 4 lap all tyres. I don't really know what he's thinking is there, but maybe he's just saving the tyres. Maybe he wants to start at the back and just feed his way into the season and into this race.
Perhaps. Right, I'm just gonna, yeah, I'll add the tyres to it as well. Right, we have 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. The top 3 are in the pit lane as well as these. Chaz is on his outlap, so we know he can do a good first sector because we saw that 28.5. He's starting it now. Number 8, round the final corner. About 1 minute 6.9 is what Kean Reynolds did in the middle. So we know what the target is, and we know what Chaz F1 can do. So he's coming across the line now, as we're just going to quickly avert our attention to, I think, one of the Mercedes, I think Carbro. He's in the wall, he's lost his front wing. Don't know how that's happened, but we're going to focus back onto Chaz, as it looks like he's had a bit of a moment on the exit of turn 1, heading up to turn 3. And now he just needs to make sure his entry into turn 4 is good. Looks about right. He's got quite a lot of traffic up in front of him. If those are all on their outlaps and slowing down. So 28.5 again. So hopefully he can get it right at this corner, the one he messed up on last time. He's probably going to take it very cautiously as he does. It's lagging a lot for me on the onboard, so I'll just have the offboard. Right, Nick, do you want to take us through the rest of this lap?
Will do. So out of turn 10, very tricky brain zone, as we said earlier. And across the second DRS straight, it's coming into turn 11. On the brakes heavy now. Clipping the white line, very good line. Losing the rear a little bit, got a little bit of traffic in front. Hopefully did not distract him. Getting as close as he can to the curb on the inside. That's a good turn.
Right, 1 minute.
Getting on the power nice and early.
Right, 1 minute 6.8 from Chaz. That's quicker than Kean Reynolds. We thought it would be close. We didn't know it would be this close. He's only got one corner left. Chaz F1, the most experienced Tier 2 driver we have.
Oh, okay.
He comes around the final corner. But is this provisional pole with 50 seconds left? It's only good enough for P2, and I don't think he can even go again. But that is a valiant effort to get to make it an Aston Martin 1-2. Like I said, he's the most experienced Tier 2 driver, along with Seb at 55 races, and he starts his 56th on the front row provisionally. But now, the final laps are going to be completed as we're looking at Kean Reynolds. I think he'll get his lap in. He's got 30 seconds to cross that line and only one corner left, so he will make it. Who's on their laps? I think they're all about to start it. Warren, I think, is the furthest. As Carbro is in the pit lane, he will start last, as will Nathan in P11. Lenny! Just caught that, he's in. So that's the back row decided. Warren, as he goes very wide here, I think he's going to be the first unless JJ Francis. Is JJ Francis waiting to give Warren a bit of a tow? We'll see. Riding on board with the McLaren, entering his second season. Obviously he was a rookie last season. Goes very wide. I don't think JJ Francis is giving him much of a tow. No, he's backing off. I think that's his qualifying session over. So Warren round the final corner. He has to improve on a 31.3. He has to find somehow 7/10 if he wants to knock Nathan down to P11. Across the line, I don't think it's enough. It's not enough. It's about second off. Right, who's next?
Matt on the lap, just coming out of turn 10.
Smithy goes to P8 as Arsenal spins. That's it for him. We got Chaz in the barrier, so obviously that was done for him. Kean's found 4.5 tenths. Cruder Bays is up by a little bit. He's matched Kean's middle sector. So 28.7 for Kean, 28.8 for Chaz, 28.9 for Cruder Bays. This is it. This is the championship battle we are thinking and predicting of these drivers as Cruder Bays crosses the line. He's gone on to provisional pole. He has done enough. It's Cruder Bays on provisional pole, but obviously Kean Reynolds has found a lot of time, and he's knocked Chaz F1 down to the second row. Watch out for the Ferraris. I'm a wild Matt. Can't improve on P4, but he improves his time. He's now across the line. He's improving. He's now across the line. It's P6 for him. What about Kean Reynolds? He's on pole for the season opener. Kean Reynolds. It's redemption. Seeking for the Aston Martin. He has to do turn 3 29 times, and he has to do it correctly in the race. But for now, it's a blinder of a lap, a 28.3 for Kean Reynolds. He's on pole from Cruder Bays. It's like we predicted. Chaz F1 in P3. I'm a wild Matt P4. And Seb, brilliantly, P5 to round out the top 5. Good effort from him, as these about just nearly 400ths off the Haas. We have James in P7, Smithy P8, Arsenal P9, he'll be happy with that I think, and JJ Francis to round out the top 10. We have Nathan Warren, Lenny and Carbro to round out the outside of the top 10 from 11th to 14th. Right, Kean Reynolds, who obviously last season was looking set to win and then messed up in turn 3 and had a spin and later on retired. He's got to do turn 3, like I said, 29 times tomorrow perfectly. He can't exactly get a good start because he's already on pole position, but he is going to try and do what Leclerc did. Go into this season with a win. Go into the season getting his 3rd win and going into the season trying to get redemption for Bahrain. Right, we're waiting for the formation lap, and obviously new to this game, you have to put your car on the grid perfectly and as best as you can, otherwise you could have a bit of a disadvantage, and we're going to see from a broadcast view just how hard that is for every single driver to see if they can do that. You excited for the battle, Nick?
It's going to be very exciting. And to be honest, I've got my eyes on turn 1. We've got so many drivers barreling down at maybe 180 miles an hour after the line. And this whole lap 1 is going to be spicy.
It is indeed. That is the picture right there. We're going to wait for the formation lap to begin. It does begin. Right. Let's see what tyres they've all picked. Ooh, interesting. Right. No, we don't want that. We don't really need that. Right. Crudvase is disqualified. How? Okay. Well, luckily it's surface only, so that shouldn't affect much. But does that mean he's... You know when you fail the formation lap, Nick, does that mean Crudvase has instantly failed it, or...
Yeah, you are slightly behind the line, just as you would do.
Oh, no, so that's gonna disadvantage him. 2 Aston Martins are trying to warm up their tyres on the soft compound tyre, as is Matt, but the third row of 7 thieves have gone for the mediums. They're trying the one stop from the mediums to the hards. Softs, apparently, you can go mediums to hards, but I think it should be a one stop. Oh, Kian's round! Yeah, just noticed that. As he's going to have to try and make his way back up to the front of the pack. So we've already got action here, and the season hasn't really even technically begun. Right. Well, only one's disqualified so far. They're all keeping in check. 9 out of the 14 are on mediums. 5 are on softs. They're all trying to get heat and temperature into their tyres. Kian's going to have to try and make his way back through the pack. I think he's down in P6 in the order. Or P5 as we got a McLaren just overtaking everyone. I think it's Warren.
Winning the formation, that means everything.
Yeah. You win something, win the formation. I don't even know if they're all in order here. As Chaz F1 is currently leading the formation lap. Kim Reynolds overtaking them all now. There we go. Oh, very close. I think he's up to 7th. Yeah, with James. So he's got to make his way past all of them. Past Seb. And then Matt. Oh, he's going to stay behind. As Nathan and Warren now have also hit each other. So that's the 6th row of the grid. But here we go then. It's tier 2. We know what to expect, as Kian has made his way back up to the top 3 of the formation lap. There we go, he goes into play. He was going to have to anyway. Right, Nick. Final preparations.
Yeah.
Here we go. We know 3 of the cars are already in their place. I was going to say, hopefully Kian goes through the cars. Right. As obviously, Chaz F1 has to stay behind. Does Kian do it? Oops.
Oh, no, he hasn't.
He hasn't. I think Chaz has. So the front row is a bit out of order. Wild Matt is facing towards. And we just wait for Carbro to be on the grid. And we should be all set and ready for the new season. As we're just waiting for the disqualifications to disappear. And we can get the season underway. What will happen here? So we're just calmly waiting. Matt already facing his car towards Chaz. The front row were disqualified. I don't think Kian even managed to get within the correct meters, so he's going to be a bit far behind. We're just waiting and waiting to get this season underway. We've been waiting for 6 weeks now. What's a few seconds more? What's going on? Nick, is this the same for you?
Yeah, the biggest anticlimactic start.
What's going on?
To a season. I mean, I don't like to have a go, but Codemasters, please.
Codemasters, come on.
Like, EXFL.
Apparently they're waiting. Are they waiting for someone? Chaz is asking if he's maybe holding it up.
Matt, I'm just looking at Matt off the outdoor camera. He's very far behind. I wonder. He maybe.
I think he's facing his car.
He maybe got green, but if you go on the off-board camera, you see his front right tyre is very far behind that yellow line.
I think it's someone's connection. I think they have to. I think it's Chaz. Right, Nick, get ready with the invite for Chaz, if that's right. Right, and we'll get the season underway, hopefully. Right. Gives us a little bit of extra time to compose ourselves, right?
Alright, sending the invite to Chaz now.
Oh, he's left, and we still haven't got underway. Codemasters.
We've got a little bit of movement from the AI cars, so I wonder if that's something to do with it. But JJ Francis just wiggling a little bit. But good start, boys. Good start.
I think we might need a lobby restart. I'm going to take a quick pick of the lineup. Does it really matter if they change their tyres? Like during if we restart again? Because I don't think it would. Oh!
Now I think.
Wait, now Chaz is disqualified. Don't know what. Is it because some people are disqualified or. How did that disqualify Chaz?
JJ Francis is left.
I'll ask Will.
Maybe he's just running to my comment now if it's jiggling, but nothing's changed, so. I would personally say let them off. I'm not sure, like in real life, the regulations if you have a delayed start like we had at Monaco, if it was in the dry.
Okay, yeah, we're restarting. I think it might have been because so many got disqualified on the formation map.
It's now loading. Everybody's got a loading sign next to them. It's just a black screen now.
Actually, for the lobby restart, should we? Well, I've left and I've already announced. So leave Nick, and
yeah. It's just Lenny with a bunch of AI cars.
I think for this one we won't do a formation lap. I think we'll head straight in.
I mean, yeah, it's on surface only anyway, so.
Nick. Right, let me just make the options. Apologies everyone for the delay and the restart. We had to do this before we even readied up for qualifying. Right, long custom grid. I'll make it midnight this time. I forgot to do that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Right, formation lap off. I'll try and be as quick as possible. Let me know when everyone's in. Remember, 14 drivers. Right.
Got 11 in so far.
Right, I'll get ready on the custom grid. Right, and I've got the pick right here. Right, so Kim was on pole. Then Crew de Vase. Where's Chaz? Chaz is near. Matt. Seb, Thies. Oh, there's Chaz. Right, Seb, Matt, Seb, then Thieves, then James.
Got 13 drivers in.
Yep, there's Thieves. Right, he's P6. Then James, then Smithy. Then Arsenal, then Francis. Then Nathan, then Warren. Alright, we're just missing Lenny at the moment.
Yeah, he was in the other lobby just living his best life with the AI.
Yeah. Right, there he is. He's still in the still in the other one, I think. Oh, there he is, right. And Carbro was last. Right, let's ready up. You're spectating, right? Yep, okay, let's go. Right, hopefully it should be good. I mean, everyone's going to be on the grid fine now, so I don't know. We'll look into it. It shouldn't be too much of an advantage or a disadvantage. Everyone is kind of in the same ballpark now. Right, 29 laps incoming. Nick, give me a top 3 prediction. What do you think the race will be like?
Top 3 prediction. Oh, it's going to be a tough one after that qualifying show. We had the top 4 very close, but I think, we can't go all the way off qualifying. There's going to be some with better race pace. And I think I'm going to go with Kian.
Yep. You better hurry. We've got half a minute.
Matt P2.
Matt P2. Okay.
And Crudebase P3.
Alright, so something's going to happen to Chaz. We'll see. We'll see if the ties have changed. I don't think it should be too much of a worry. We didn't even see them get off. But we are 10 seconds away from the start of a new season of EXFL Tier 2, Season 5. Kian, Will, Matt, Joe, who will be champion this season? We're 22 races away from deciding that. But for now, brand new dawn, brand new era for EXFL in Tier 2 Season 5. 5 lights on, and when they go out, we're away here in Bahrain. Kian gets an alright start. Crudebase is riding up alongside him. But what a start from Chaz F1. He's already wheel to wheel with his teammate. The 2 Aston Martins go wheel to wheel into turn 1. One of the Ferraris has straight lined Kian Reynolds. He's done what Kian did, and Aston Martin is already chaos down into turn 3 as they're all crashing. Kian Reynolds has got caught up with Thieves and one of the Alpines. Chaz F1 leads. I'm a wild Matt second. Crudebase is now under pressure now from James as there's a penalty for Thieves. That's going to be looked at. What a chaotic start.
That could be big
We saw
for Kian on the side pods maybe.
It is as well. Kian Reynolds down to P12. We saw them wheel to wheel, the 2 Aston Martins. We thought it was going to be a great shot. And then out of nowhere, we saw Thieves F1 just not decide to press the brakes. And he did to Kian. Yeah, he did to Kian what Kian did in Season 2. Except what Kian did was a bit more chaotic. Someone went over someone. But now we're going to get the fire's already emerging as Kian is right behind Thieves now. Has Thieves got, what, 3 seconds? Oh, he's already overtaken. We'll check later. 5 seconds. They're wheel to wheel now. Kian is not going to be happy as Thieves, and they're banging wheels again. What is Thieves thinking? But Kian does get ahead. They make slight contact. Where is the penalty? 5 seconds. Yeah. I think the tyres are all the same. Anyway, Chaz F1 leads after lap 1. Ahead of Armour Matt Crudebase, we already got someone dropping down. Arsenal has spun, as we also have Nathan down. Something happened to him as well. so he's going to be on the back of Arsenal. Warren P12, Gargoham 11, Thieves P10, and we're already seeing battles as Kieran Reynolds down the inside, JJ Francis, and up in front Smithy and Carbro going wheel to wheel. Carbro stays ahead, Smithy's going to get the better line, and he's now within the slipstream as Arsenal gets ahead of Nathan, and he's just going to stay behind right now. I don't think he's close enough unless he can get later on the brakes. He's going to try around the outside. And he'll keep his foot in, and then wheel to wheels ahead down to turns it. But up in front, I think that was a crash. But Crudebase is now ahead of Armour Wild Matt, and there was a crash. Sorry, I had to butt in there, but Carbro has been spun. There was a collision between him and Smithy, and he's down into plumb last. As Crudebase got ahead of Armour Wild Matt. Matt must have made a mistake, or Crudebase must have simply got the better exit. It's Kim Reynolds already on the move. He's ahead of Smithy. He's gone very wide. What a chaotic opening.
First 2 laps, isn't that? I mean,
Lenny and Warren are battling. I think this is the greatest battle we're going to see. As we got someone off there slowly in the background. Arsenal, I think he's trying to find gear. As Carbro started 14th, still 14th. Right, Chaz F1 leading. Yep, already trying to make his way back up.
Sight on Chaz, he's got to make the move. He's been
they're back, Chaz. They're back now. Right,
and they are.
Right. So, DRS enabled. Oh, man. Right, Chaz is just trying, but Crudebase is on the hunt. His race pace. He's got it down to within a second as Lenny and Warren are battling. As Lenny now is into the points, but Warren is going to be within his slipstream, using his ERS, pulling to the inside, and that should be a good move. I think that's the first legitimate move we've seen so far this season, but Lenny's coming back at him. He's going to try down the inside. He's going to make his car really tight, and that wasn't going to end without contact, as he just has to stay behind. He cuts the corner, and that's the first 3 seconds of the season and the race. But he's going to have to stay behind. Warren gets into P10. These don't know what he was what was he thinking? He just didn't know what the break was.
Yeah, I think he's very angry.
He started
sixth.
6th.
He's sorry.
Oh, These.
It was a great start between Chaz and Kim.
I thought it was a great start for These. He was up to 3rd, and then he just didn't break.
Oh,
we got a yellow.
We
got a yellow. What's going on?
Chaz going to get the switch back, and I think we got Arsenal back there.
Yeah, Alan Carbro's pitted for hards. Hasn't been a good start for Arsenal. P13 for him. The 2 Alpha Tauris keeping silent, but now he's on the back of Lenny. Can't quite get past him for now. He's going to have to stay behind. As Crudebase is already right behind Chaz F1.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, he is on it.
And Carbro.
Oh, we've got both Carbro and Arsenal.
And Arsenal.
But
Arsenal's tired on track.
Maybe
he's
this
given
top
up.
Top 2 fight is going to be closer than we thought. I mean, only 5/10 separating the 2. And Chaz isn't really showing any signs of pulling away, but I mean, this race has had a lot happen already, and we've still got 25 more laps.
Right, I've enabled the gear thing. I get the graphic because I do want to see how much ERS they're on. Crudebase has used pretty much all of it, and Chaz is down to 27, so he's still got a bit to play with. 2-second gap to Matt, he just doesn't seem to have the pace at the moment. James keeping within the same range. Seb on the mediums, he's the first medium runner, and he's only 7/10 ahead of Kieran Reynolds, who will be looking to try and get back into the top 5 as soon as possible. He is going to be one angry man, and he's going to still try and redeem himself from last season. But this time it wasn't his fault for why he's not in first place anymore, as Lenny and I think, yeah, that's Nathan are getting into the walls a bit there. Pretty much fight for last as Carbro is 40 odd seconds behind. He's going to take for a safety car.
But
yes, we have to focus on the front.
These drivers are going to have to save that ERS as long as possible. It's very hard to get it back. The only saviour they're really going to get is going into the pits, maybe gaining 20-30%, but that's...
Oh, Chaz!
Chaz is gone!
He's spun!
The wall, and this is huge!
Where's his teammate? Where's Kieran Reynolds? Right behind him.
Putting under pressure, isn't he?
I mean, Chaz F1, both Aston Martins. It was supposed to be a perfect 1-2 launch for them, but it's been a horrendous opening 4 laps for the title favourites. And now they're still in the top 5, but they've got a lot of work to do if they want to take this victory away from easily the fastest man on track so far, Crudebase.
He's going to have mixed emotions about that. He's going to see his championship rival right in front of him, already crashing under the pressure, maybe catching the curb.
Speaking of pressure, James F1 goes very wide. Oh, Matt has also lost it.
Gone as well.
Matt's also lost it. Chaz F1
line.
gets ahead of James. What happened to Matt? Did he just spin?
I think he must have. But these top drivers are falling like a sack of spikes at this rate.
JJ
What
Francis
is going
gone very
on?
wide there. Matt lost the rear. I'm guessing he did what Keane did last season at turn 3. He spun. Chaz F1 put James under pressure. James went very wide and even off track into turn 1. So Chaz got the switch back. And Chaz, before you know it, is back up in a P2 as Carborough's got a penalty. But 5 seconds off the lead. So James in an Aston Martin sandwich. Cian Reynolds only 44% compared to James's 3 and Chaz's 16. So
He's going to be hoping to keep Chaz in his sights this whole race. His championship rival has lost it from the lead, and he's got a hook, a rope to the back of that Aston Martin.
Did we even see Cian get past Seb? I don't think we even did, but
No,
he did.
But he's been on a roll since that one incident. I think it was something like. Well, it must have been definitely a handful of positions from that one into lap 2.
Oh, he dropped down to P12 easy with Thieves. But now, James, with nothing to play with, Cian is all over the rear of him, and he's just going to simply pull to the inside, and that should be an easy move for him. He's back up into the top 3 as James just stays behind. But he's going to send it on Cian, and he's going to make slight contact. He's really trying to gain everything he can as his teammate, Carborough, as Cian loses the rear, and he's going to have to let him back through. So he's going to have to try again. Down into turn 4, he's already pushing and being aggressive and defensive as he's going to try and get his elbows out. But James is sticking around. Cian forces him off. Cian gets a penalty. As they're banging wheels once again, James now gets a penalty because they banged wheels. And James really not playing today as Cian Reynolds is doubling it back. Wow, the racing here today is a bit more than adequate. But Cian Reynolds, at the expense of getting himself and James a penalty, is up into P3 as they're lapping Carborough, I think, now. I don't know why he decided to put hards on. He's got no front wing. And he's got lapped by Crew de Vase. Right, Cian Reynolds, we know he's in no mood to play now after that really aggressive display of driving against James. And James really... We haven't really seen James be that aggressive. We thought the move was done heading into turn 1, but he sent it as Matt is getting from bad to worse for him. Right behind him, Lenny also making a mistake. It just doesn't stop, and we've missed it, but we always forget how much it is. Tier 2 as Seb gets ahead of James, who's into the pits now. He's going to try and undercut maybe. As we got a yellow, Carborough is out. So is that going to help his teammate who's into the pits? We've got a yellow and set to 1, 2, and 3, and that surely means we've got a safety car. If the whole track is yellow.
Yeah, safety car is like you can see on the mini map there, the yellow dot.
I can't see anything. Oh, right, yeah, okay. So we have got a safety car, and that has helped Chaz F1 massively from that gap that was 5 seconds. Chaz F1 weaving about. He's very happy after that mistake he made. It would be great if he can battle Crew de Vase. And what's going to happen down at Aston Martin, because if the best solution would be obviously to pit, but because they're right next to each other, Cian's going to have to back off a bit here, so he doesn't get held up when they stack, and that's if they stack. Changing it to leader. If Smithy stays out, I think Crew de Vase would be just ahead of him. What a crazy race! Chaz F1 fastest lap so far, 6 thousandths faster than Crew de Vase's, with Cian just a couple of tenths off. Seems like Cian is good with the 1 lap pace. Seems like Chaz is around the same ballpark with him in the race. And it seems like Crew de Vase is having it all out for the moment. We saw last season the 2 Aston Martins versus a Ferrari for the championship. It then descended to only 2 Aston Martins. Well, we're seeing the 2 Aston Martins again, but this time with a Red Bull. And speaking of that Red Bull, does Crew de Vase pit as Warren gets a penalty? Yes, he does. He has no reason to speed. He's got it all under control. Chaz stays out, so Cian Reynolds will pit. So has Chaz made the right decision here to stay out? What do you think, Nick?
It's lap 7. I don't really know what tyres Cian's going to go for. I mean, you could go for hards, but
Chaz went into the pits.
In.
Yeah, never mind. And Cian's going to get held up. And where's Seb then?
Cian's got mediums.
Seb's gone hards. He's going to the end. He's doing that
Chaz.
one stop we saw. Is he ahead? No, Cian keeps hold of 3rd place as they've all gone to mediums. As James has managed to undercut Cian. with the safety car
These
out,
medium boys
he's back ahead.
are gonna.
Yeah.
Maybe they're hoping for another safety car unless they've got full confidence in their driving ability to take them to the end. That is a very long distance. What's like 21 laps? I mean.
Yeah, JJ Francis and Thieves have put the softs on, so they're definitely pitting again. As for Nathan,
Maybe they're
Warren,
hoping
and
for
Lenny,
another safety car. It would definitely be softs from the end from here, probably.
yeah. James, 1 lap older. Don't know if that would be a huge difference for the mediums. But James has managed to split the 2 Aston Martins. We've lost 2 from this race, Carbro and Arsenal. And then there were 12. And it's already been a crazy race. Let's recap. Kian Reynolds didn't get the greatest start. Crew de Vase, we thought was going to get alongside him, but Chaz F1 had a brilliant start to get from 3rd to alongside Kian, and we thought the Aston Martins going into turn 1 would be great. And then all of a sudden, Thieves, not really straight lines, but just brakes too late and hits Kian off and brings him down to P11 as Chaz F1 leads. And then heading into this corner now, Chaz F1 spun and managed to keep it out the barriers, at least for the front of his car. The rear did hit the barrier a bit, but I think he's got away from that unscathed. And through Matt spinning up to P5 now for the Ferrari, and through Kian battling James, he's managed to get himself back up into P2. For some reason it glitched. Chaz not having the greatest Wi-Fi. He's being overtaken by James.
Yeah,
he's getting back ahead.
And Chaz is probably going to have to let him back up.
We know Chaz's Wi-Fi isn't great. He's been having problems with it. We saw him stay out, but then he was in the pit lane this time 1 lap ago. We think everything should be fine now. James, really, I generally thought James would, like, we just never saw this last season from him. The aggression to, from that battle we saw with Kian. But Kian is going to be so impatient to try and get back past James and try and salvage this race, because remember, he's got a penalty. And let's flick to penalties now. 3 seconds for Kim and James, 11 for Warren, 6 for Lenny. Can you check warnings for Crew de Vase and Chaz, Nick?
Yep.
Okay, I'm just going to check the chats because it's probably madness.
Yeah, just look at the announcements. Warnings for Crew de Vase. Crew de Vase is none. What's the other one? Out, I believe. These Ox 1 zeros. We've got James on a warning lap 1 penalty plus 4 warnings. So someone has put in collision. We've got 1 on lap 1. Same with Caden. Got a lot of track limits. With Kian, he's got 3 warnings, a warning, penalty plus 2 warnings. So let's have a look. He's got track limits for. He's got 3 collision warnings. He's got Kian 1 track limits, 2 more track limits, and then the penalty there. So Kian is on 3 warnings. So he's on that penalty and he's now he's starting again from 0. Matt's on no warnings. He's on the hard, so he's probably going to the end, but he's going to be very slow on those tyres. Now,
Right, safety car is in this lap.
Safety car is in this lap, yeah.
So I've sorted it, that whole announcement chat thing.
Yeah.
Right, we're getting ready to go racing then. Crew de Vase is going to lead them away. And you obviously can't be alongside, I'm guessing. So, James and Kian, that's going to be the one to watch for, with Matt also behind. But when is Crew de Vase going to go? He's gone now. And they're all going to shuffle their way along the straight now. Kian is right behind James. I think the top 2 are going to be how they are. But Kian is already alongside the Mercedes. And he's going to hopefully outbrake himself. He's outbraked himself a bit too much, and that should be an easy picking for Kian. But James is going to stick his nose in there, and he's going to spin Kian with him. James really not giving up, and he's ruined Kian's afternoon once again. James really not knowing when to back out, when he should. Anyway, looking further front.
JJ Francis has said they're getting a little bit close into turn 4.
Yeah, and so is Dees and Smithy, I think. But for now, they all seem to be keeping single file. Chaz is really not letting Good race goes. JJ Francis does get ahead of Seb. I think that was a mega send from the McLaren on the soft compound tyres, remember. He's trying to get up as far as he can, and now he's got the other soft runner behind him. He's in a soft compound runner sandwich as Thies is right behind him. Kian is really not going to be happy at James after this race.
An unfortunate start in these first 10 laps for Kian.
Yeah,
but he's
Seb's
got
been
to keep his
overtaken
head
by
up.
Thies.
Still 19 laps to come. A lot could happen. I mean, so much has happened in these first 10 laps. And realistically, we've nearly got another 2 more of those.
I couldn't agree more as Chaz F1 really keeping on the back of Coudevaise. Finally, a battle for the leads as Coudevaise' 5-second gap we had before the safety car is diminished. And Chaz is right on the back, already down to 50% as Coudevaise is down to 60. So it's going to be close between them. I don't think he's close enough now, but we'll wait until DRS. Kian Reynolds, if I was him, I would be angry at James too, because James, it's not the greatest display he's showing of defence. He's keeping his nose in there when really he should be backing out. It's just the smart thing to do when racing comes to this sort of thing. As Smithy and Seb are now battling. Even hard runners, as Seb is struggling on those hard compound tyres. What about Matt and JJ Francis with the soft compound tyre? Obviously JJ Francis and Thies will have to pit again, so that can promote Kian probably to 9th, but he's got a lot of cars to overtake. As Nathan's down to 3%. He's got his ERS on. I think he's got that problem we reported last season.
we had that last season. Left is just a choice, but he goes for the send very late there.
Yeah, he's keeping it on. It's an easy picking for Kian. He gets ahead of Nathan, and he's going to have to stay behind Lenny for now.
Kian's just got to keep it clean. He's got to keep his head up. But a lot can happen, as I said. You just got to keep it going, keep the car on the track, keep it on the rails as well.
It's Kian out. Pretty much brakes at the same time as Lenny, but Lenny's gone off the track, and that will promote Kian up to P9. Next up is Warren, as we look forward to Thies versus JJ Francis, the soft runners, as Thies has used up all his ERS, as JJ Francis is waiting, and Thies now ahead of JJ Francis, as Thies now looks on his teammate for 3rd place. Chaz F1 has dropped to 2nd back, so I don't know what happened there. As they fly through onto the main straight, James gets ahead of Nathan, as we see the McLaren pull out on the Ferrari, and down the inside goes JJ Francis, as he nearly has to avoid his teammate there, as Thies goes off and gets a 3-second, and he's lost out to JJ Francis, as Nathan and James are battling now. Where's Nathan? Can't see anything from that angle. Right, he's forced him off once again. James off the track. Is this a new James? I don't know if we like the new version, but going to Mercedes. He's hit Nathan off track, and he's also ruined Kian's afternoon. Kian already on the back of Warren. As Warren goes very wide, Kian's going to try and gain from that. And yeah, he knows how to overtake, and he knows how to drive this track. As Warren's putting up a staunch defence, pushing him right to the limit and pushing him through the corner. Warren. But Kian does get ahead. Not the greatest show of driving we've seen so far, as Smithy and Seb right up in front of them are battling now on the hard compound tyre. This should allow Kian to get right up to them. Good overtake from Seb there to get back over Smithy.
A little bit.
Has he?
Can't be doing that too much. You know, he's going to burn those tyres up. And if you want to win this race, win this race.
Yeah.
Win this race.
Win this race.
Race is win.
Thies and JJ Francis fighting over the DRS, and that's backed off them enough for Thies and Seb to now get on the action. But JJ Francis, what's happened to him?
Is disqualification maybe? Is it lag? Is it?
I don't know, but he's going into the pit lane, and that's an easy.
And
he's spared.
What's happening?
Don't know.
Has he got control?
I'm not sure, but looking further front, 4-car battle now from Thies to Smithy, from Seb to Kian, just on the back of it, as Warren just a second back. Right, we'll look from the offboard. Yeah, Thies has got a bit of a train now. Right, we know it's a new game, but the wheel-to-wheel it needs to be improved, and hopefully in the next coming races we will see that being improved. 1 second still from Chaz to Coudevaise, not letting him get away. So we still don't know who's the definite winner of this race yet. I mean, it's tier 2. We don't know until the last lap. Until they cross the line. Yeah, last corner. Not even that, like after the race.
That crosses the line.
A week later. Right, Chaz, literally on the dot 1 second as Kean Reynolds gets ahead of Seb. Good move from the Aston Martin. That was clean, that was bold, it was brave, it was beautiful as always. Now he's on the back of Smithy for the top 5, and then he's got to overtake Thies, who pretty much started his chain of bad luck of the Bahrain Grand Prix on lap 1. Seb, as we got a yellow, that's Lenny, who's off. He'll carry on. We got another safety car. Was it a VSC? What's going on?
The safety car.
Is it Thies? What is Thies doing? He's gone off in the pit. He's held them all up really slowly. Thies. Well, I don't think that should be too much of a problem because they don't lose anything. They're still all there, but Thies really needs. He has some explaining to do. I think he's serving a penalty. Yeah, that 5-second penalty he got right at the beginning, I think he's serving. So, we go again. Kean. P5 right behind Smithy and P4. Matt. Pretty much in a race of his own at the moment, besides that one mistake in turn 3. And this will give Chaz another opportunity to be right on Crew de Vase. Everyone on the mediums and the hards, apart from Lenny, who caused the safety car by going off. The safety car is normal, it's not on increase, but we've already had 2 as we reach the halfway stage of this race. As the safety car did come out right when the leaders passed the pit lane. So, if Crew de Vase pits now...
Actually, no, they can't go mediums because they've only got 1 set of mediums this season.
Maybe, but if Crew de Vase pits now... Crew de Vase has got a drive-through!
Jaden, it's happened again.
It's happened again. I was going to say Crew de Vase, if he pits now, he might be able to get out in front of Smithy, but he's sped too much. He's too quick, and he's got a drive-through, and he can't serve it under safety car. So please do not go into the pits, Crew de Vase. Oh, he's going into the pits.
We've had Killian from the lead, Shaz from the lead, Matt from the podium, and Crew de Vase. I mean, how can this race have anything more left in it?
And he's got hards, like, he's got to serve that drive-through after. Matt's coming in, so he put the hards on, so he can put mediums on. This is quite a good strategy from Matt.
Tactical mark.
Kean's going to be happy because really all that stands between him and victory is his teammate and Smithy. Warren up to P5, Smithy. James P6, Crew de Vase comes out in P7, and he's still got to serve that drive-through. Nathan, no penalties.
He's just
Matt,
blaming the game, I think.
Oh, is he? Maybe, that could happen actually.
Could be the Delta.
Could be the Delta, yeah. Right, JJ Francis. He's got a long way to go to catch up to the pack. So has Lenny, really. Lenny's got the longest to catch up to the pack. But Chaz F1! Whoa, as he hits the safety car!
He's it! That's what? Jaden!
How does that happen? Every time I go to a driver in the lead, something happens. I don't think anything happened, but unless he's glitching, of course. Obviously, the onboard for Chaz isn't the most reliable thing in the world. So let's get off board.
There's some governing power here.
Oh,
just like
Smithy's having the race of his life.
Bro's chilling.
I did say to you before the stream, you know, he got some P3s, P4s.
He did.
You never know.
You did.
You never know what he could do with that beautiful AlphaTauri livery. It's growing on a lot of people, especially the onboard.
I quite like his helmet as well. It's a good contrast with colours.
Oh, very nice. Orange and yellow. Reminds me of Lucozade for some reason. Sponsor us. No, I'm just kidding. I don't drink it. Kean Reynolds in P3. Seb P4, you know, he's just keeping quiet. He got a podium here a couple seasons ago, and he was really happy about it as well. Warren in P5, but he's got a bunch of penalties. James P6 with a 3-second. Crew de Vase with that drive-through. Remember? Joe Parcel obviously got a drive-through in Brazil in the last race, the last season.
Yep.
And he still came through to finish P2, so you never know.
The most chaotic race I've ever commentated on, but this one, it might not be the
I mean, it's still chaotic.
Finale,
Nothing's
but
changed.
it's still up there.
We have the Mercedes red safety car, GT. And we're just waiting for the final 3 cars to catch up to the safety car. It should be coming in this lap, I think, if Lenny can just push a bit. Right, we're going to have... Well, we've passed halfway. Oh, we've only just passed halfway.
Oh,
we've got 13, 12-ish laps, I guess, of racing. That's if we don't get another safety car. As this is a great shot. The helicopter cam. So much has happened this race. Wow. So, Chaz F1, who's been more confident heading into the season than any of his previous, he's really going for it this time. And he's going to hopefully not back out. He's not going to let anything stop him. Connection issues, he's still drawing the lobby. Spinning into the corner just after the one we're heading into, not stopping him. Let's just see how resilient he is over the course of these next 22 races. It's only round 1, but every race matters. Because I think if Lenny doesn't join the pack, we might stay out for one more lap. And if it does go in, then Lenny might have to keep to a limiter. But as we calm down now, catch our breath, the safety car is in this lap, so Lenny might... Is Lenny committed to a limiter? He is committed to a limiter. That's a bit unfortunate, but we're going to have to focus our attention back to the front. Chaz F1 will lead them away from Smithy, from Kian, from Seb, from Warren, and the 2 Ferraris are already swapping position, I think. I think they've kept how they are, but when will Chaz go? He's going now. Right, so here we go. Kian has already got a good restart, 2 out of 2, as he's right on the back of Smithy. He's not alongside like he was for James, but he's got a clear gap to Seb, who's under pressure from Warren, as they all file their way down into turn 1. Kian Reynolds sends it on Smithy. Smithy's keeping his nose in once again. Kian learns from his mistake this time, and he's going to have to hopefully stay behind him again, as we're looking further back. Warren.
I think might go for the move again.
JJ Francis is getting squeezed by Nathan, but looking further front. Kian Reynolds, and looking further behind, there's another 2x2. 7, Warren, but Kian Reynolds makes it an Aston Martin 1-2. And he's up into the second place as we got James round and Lenny round.
Oh, Smithy's back up the inside.
Yeah, is indeed. Right,
Ian
Chaz.
can't afford to have this. He's got to keep Chaz in his sights.
One stadium, as out of nowhere, he was P9 at the restart, he's up to P4. And he's ahead of Warren. Warren sending it from nowhere.
Oh.
But Matt gets back ahead as James.
Now.
Right, so Kian did get the move eventually. He's up into P2. It's an Aston Martin 1-2 like we predicted initially. Smithy P3. Matt P4. Warren keeps P5, but he was battling for the podium at one spot. Seb's dropped down to 6th. These from 10th is up to 7th. Cruda Bay's P8. He's still got to serve that drive-through.
Absolutely obliterated.
And JJ Francis was getting squeezed right to the wall, right to the the run off of the track. Cruda Bay's making a move on Thieves, looking further front.
Kian gained 5 tenths on Chaz just in this lap.
Oh, it's chaos as what Matt has hit Warren. Matt went very wide and hit Warren off. That's Warren spun round now. Don't know if Matt might get a penalty for that. He went very wide and then turned back in, and Warren, and they banged wheels as Lenny is going very slow on the straights, I think. It was slow enough to cause a yellow. Right, 1.9 has now turned to 1.1 between the 2 Aston Martins. We are going to get a fight. And they're not even in a party, so this is going to be spicy, as if it isn't already the most burning thing in our mouths at the moment. So, Matt on the back of Smithy for the podium. Seb is going to have to hold off Cruda Bays.
A little mistake there. Just lost to the 10th, but he's already gained 2 tenths from this lap. It would have been 3 without that little mistake. It's just been up to 1.2. But he's reeling Chaz in. He nearly had the DRS.
Matt sends it on Smithy as Smithy spins Matt. Well, it's half spin. Matt saves it a bit, but the racing is not being delivered in the greatest way possible. And Matt's down to 8. I swear everyone has spun at least once this race. Besides Cruda Bays, who's got a drive through. Right, James somehow got caught up at turn 6 when he got spun.
Back onto 1.1.
Yeah, the gap's staying at 1.1.
Kian's out of DRS, so look at that. He's on 1%. Chaz is 30.
Right, as Cruda Bays now comes in to serve his drive-through. Better late than never. but it's going to put him down in P11, and he is going to have to hope for another safety car. But looking further front, James and Warren. Warren, I think that was an overtake for Warren, so good on him. Right, Mama Wild Matt versus JJ Francis. JJ Francis thought he was going to swipe him then for a sec, but down the inside goes the Ferrari on the McLaren. It's got to go ham. Has retired in the pit lane, so that's it for him. I think that should be fine. But good move from
Yeah,
Mama Wild
apparently
Matt.
he had some controller issues that kept
Warren.
disconnecting.
What, Lenny?
Yeah, so he decided to return.
Okay, so Warren's had a moment there, so that's allowed James back into P9. Nathan, we haven't really said much about him. He's in P8 at the moment.
I wonder if Ian missed his moment. He was right up at 1.0 seconds, but it's just lingering around 1.2, around 1.3, and I wonder if the tyres have dropped away from him, and he's lost that opportunity now.
Remember, he did get spun as well with those tyres, so
Yeah, exactly.
small wear. Anyway, Ferrari 5 and 6, they're both going to see the stewards after this. Racers, we've caught on board. These are spun, and he's reset to track, but obviously, again, you can do that. These had a moment, just like Chance, it wasn't as bad, but I was riding on board with Matt, and he saw his teammate, and I saw his teammate spin, so he's down to P8 now. Nathan up to P7 now, as JJ Francis is battling Matt for P5, as Seb, once again, just keeping quiet, and battling now for the podium with Smithy. Both on hard compound tyres. They can go to the end. As for Kian and Chaz, I'm not sure. 9 laps to go.
I think
and Kian's just dropping behind Chaz, as he's still got a 3-second penalty, remember. Yeah.
I think Chaz is hoping to go to the end, because all Kian needs is a pit stop, because realistically, I think
all Kian needs is a
the
pit
reason why Kian's losing so much, yeah, because he's got no ERS. And that's what I think it's losing him so much.
Oh, Chaz!
Oh,
wait,
no!
Oh,
this game.
No, his connection. It's not the game, really. It's Chaz's connection. Right.
Let me put excited.
Right, we cannot go on board with Chaz. We have to stay with Kian if we want to see anything.
If Chaz keeps using his ERS like he is, Chaz is using it for no reason. He took 30% from 30 just on that straight for no reason. And this is bringing Kian closer. They're roughly the same ERS now. Even in fact, Kian has more, so Kian's going to reel him back in again if he can, if he's got the tyres underneath him.
Right, Seb on the back of Smithy, keep him within DRS range. Nick just took the M real quick, as we hopefully won't miss much, but JJ Francis has spun. Hopefully catching that, hopefully that should be fine for now. Right, we'll look back to Seb on the back of Smithy. Just commentate over that real quick, Nick.
Will do. So we've got Seb using the DRS, he's got a lot more ERS. 50% there. Smithy pulls out, he goes defensive. Is Seb looking around the outside? As Smithy's flashing into turn 1, he's going to get the switch back. Little bit late off the break.
Right, you can check the M now, Nick. As Seb has got the better exit and he's got the DRS, and he's not using his ERS, but he's going to hopefully brake later, and he has done that. They're wheel to wheel, and Seb and Smithy make contact a bit, but Seb edges ahead, and Seb is up in a P3. Good move. Got his elbows out, and that's put Smithy vulnerable now to lose P4 to Matt, who's right on the back of him. It's a good scrap for the podium's places, as Kian Reynolds is now within. Oh, what's happened? Chaz! Chaz has made a mistake! I was wondering why Kian Reynolds has closed down to 8/10. He's forced Chaz into a mistake, and Kian Reynolds leads. He's back into the lead, and now he's got to get a 3-second gap if he wants to win this race, as Matt is now ahead of Smithy for P4. Overtake galore is happening. He leaves the space for Smithy, but he still hits him. Matt, and that rear end of his is just hitting Warren, and now he's hit Smithy. So Matt is definitely going to see the stewards after this, and now he's going to have to try and gain on Seb. They all don't have a penalty, but oh, we got a yellow. I think that's these again. Yeah, bad to worse. But McLaren, I think it's the worst of all, because they're running in last and second last. Kian Reynolds, I don't know if it was him who forced the mistake to Chaz, or Chaz just simply made a mistake. It was turn 10, and that corner is the most difficult to get right on this track. But Chaz has made a mistake again in this race after spinning at turn 14. He's lost it again at turn 10, and he's lost the lead. But Chaz hasn't been in any incidents, has he, Nick? Like, he hasn't been involved with any...
No, I don't believe
No. So, Kean kind of has, as Matt gets ahead of Seb. I think that was an easy move. He's on the quicker tyre. But yeah, Kean has been involved in a bit, but incidents aside, Chaz is still in the best position here because over the next 7 laps he just has to stay within 3 seconds and the win will be his. So Kean Reynolds has to push as much as he can. And while Matt, it's as they were without that drive-through with Crew de Vase, the top 3 are as they really were, I guess, the top 3 without Crew de Vase, obviously. But he's not had the greatest afternoon as Jack down in P9 with that drive-through. But as soon as everything starts to go a bit quiet, something will happen. 7 laps to go. Obviously 7 laps to go. Last race we had that safety car that changed everything. But Matt, not exactly pulling away from Seb. Seb, who qualified 5th, would love to get on the podium for a second time in Bahrain. And he's got the DRS. What's Matt? He's got half of what Seb has. So Seb not using it. But he's going to close the gap. But he can't quite. As James, he gets ahead of Nathan, who's into the pit lane now. Matt on 8-lap-old mediums compared to Chaz and Kean's 15-lap-old mediums. Do you think they can really go all the way, Nick?
I don't know, we've had some comments from the boys, the Tier 1 boys in the chat, and they said that they think both Aston Martin's going to get a puncture, but look at this, just on this lap, 5 tenths from Kean Reynolds.
Indeed. 1.8 seconds then between the leaders. Matt, 7.6 now. He's gaining quite a bit on them as he's got fresher tyres. Nathan pits for the softs. He comes out in P10 ahead of JJ Francis. Warren up in P9, beating his teammate at the moment. So, maybe... Oh, obviously he has 11 seconds worth of penalties. But
2 seconds.
2 seconds? Oh, 2
yeah,
seconds.
Yeah, but Chaz making a little bit of a wiggle.
But look at Kean. Look at his ERS. He's pushing.
He's burning all. They're both below 10%. I mean, once you get below 10%, you've just got to use it. You cannot keep it. There's no way.
Yeah. Right. So Kean starts lap 24. 2 seconds now. 2.1 seconds now. Kean really wants this win. We got a yellow in sector 2, and I think that's Nathan.
I think that's Nathan. Yeah.
That's a penalty. Bees also gets a penalty. Right. So closest battle on track is Smithy versus Seb. No one's within a second of anyone. But the battle for P3 is still on as they have no penalties. That guy's back, Nick, yeah. Right, Nick, Chaz has closed it a bit down. 1 second. Oh, 1.2 seconds.
It has been carnage, I mean.
Crew de Vase 26 seconds, so even without that through, I mean, I know he's on hard, so he's obviously to the leaders, but what might have been, he's going to have to come back in another race and try and regain those points because P8 is not what he wanted to start the season off. But now, I think the biggest thing in this race now is the battle for the win between the Aston Martins. We were so used to it last season that it's not even that much of a surprise. Yeah, it doesn't matter what era, well, the last year's or this year's. We will see the Aston Martins out in front.
Aston Martin is the new Mercedes. Everybody wants to be there. Maybe there's a little bit of luck. Maybe there's some lady luck if you're in Aston Martin.
Right, the gap.
2.2, just 2.1 now. Got Matt in P3, 10 seconds behind Kean.
Smithy gaining all the time. I think it said he was within a second, and he has got DRS on Seb, and he's using whatever he has left of his DRS. Seb's still on 37. He's closing the gap to the Haas. Not quite close enough at the moment. This race has been full of incidents, and I don't think. Do we have enough laps left for another safety car?
Yeah, I believe so. I think
when it gets to lap 27.
I think last season we had it. Yeah, I think last season we had lap 26, and it stayed up for 1 lap 27. They're back.
They're back. Right. Yeah, Matt not really closing in. Right, 17 laps. They'll be 21 laps old. The mediums on the Aston Martins. I love Chaz's helmet design. haven't seen that
Yeah,
one
I was
before.
looking at that in college.
But Keane's also looks really lit. Seb, who I think the podium might just fall away. However, Matt has been in the walls with some people. He's spun 2 of them. Same with James. James has been in the walls with a lot of people. Mainly Keane.
And that's exactly the reason why you said earlier that we don't even know who won the race like 2 weeks after.
Maybe not 2 weeks, otherwise 2 races would have passed.
End of the season.
We get to the end of the season. Oh, you remember Bahrain? This guy won. It's not this guy.
Yeah.
Right, Seb now
After
penalty.
further
So that's
review.
his. Like what I was saying about Matt maybe getting a penalty for what he's done. Seb's got a penalty, so you never know. Smithy might even be on the podium in this way. We've got 11 runners still left, so one of these is not getting points. And at the moment, it's going to be, I think, JJ Francis. If we look to penalties, yeah, probably JJ Francis. It's going to be close between the 2 McLarens. Right, we start lap 26. 2.1. Kian is not going to get the victory if it carries on like this. But 8/10 is in it. Can you check Chaz's warnings, please, Nick? Just so...
Yep.
Because that's what Kian's hoping for.
He's got 2 warnings.
Ooh.
Let's just check if they
So,
are
Chaz
track limit.
has to push, but he can't push too much, otherwise he will get a penalty. And that will equalise it, and that will mean Kian wins, unless Kian gets a penalty post-race. But at the moment, I don't think Kian's really been in an incident where it was completely his fault. I mean, turn 1, lap 1 was definitely not his fault. But in turn 3, 2 turns later, he did kind of force these a bit off, but I'm not sure. And with James as well, a few laps later on, I think it was more James's fault, but we have to see. I'm going to treat it as how it is now, what the game is. Obviously, that's how it will be. If there's any updates, we will let you know in Saudi that's where we're going to be in 7 days' time. Yeah, I'm losing my voice. Right, Kian starts lap 27. 3 to go. 2.3 the gap. I think that's the biggest the gap has been so far. We have had 2 safety cars. They're back. We've had 2 safety cars, and that will be it for this race. 10 seconds to Matt. So I think no matter what, this is how... I think no matter what, yeah, it will be an Aston Martin 1-2, but the order is what we are interested in. Will it be Kian or will it be Chaz? Chaz Kian or Kian Chaz? 2.5 now. Kian's really using every little bit he can, as they're both on pretty much the same ERS. But if Chaz gets a penalty, that will be it. 2.6 now between them. What? Wait. Oh, damn it. Partying counted an error. Hang on. Still says I'm streaming, but yeah, the party encountered an error. If anyone can hear me, the party didn't count an error. Chaz has got it up to 2.8. Nick, are you there? Nick, are you there?
Hello.
Right, still says I'm streaming,
Yep.
so we're going to go off that. And speaking of which, it is 2.9. 3
Oh,
seconds.
it is. No.
Right.
This is close.
I can't be on board with Chaz, otherwise something mad is going to happen when it actually isn't.
It's 3
We start
seconds,
the
slipping
penultimate
away,
lap.
2.9.
What is the gap? As they cross the line, Kian with the fastest lap of the race.
With the fastest lap
You got a
with
yellow.
no ERS. This
Oh,
is
Warren.
absolutely pinnacle.
Warren, I think, has gone off. Yeah, so that we know who's
Oh,
going to
and I
not
just
score.
thought I caught these as well.
Kian!
His spin.
Kian's made a mistake, and that's going to allow
Oh,
Chaz the
no!
victory. Kian on the penultimate lap. It's not turn 3. It's the exit of turn 1.
Pushed too hard.
He's going to be kicking
Jaden.
himself. Kian Reynolds,
Oh.
who had it over 3 seconds, he had the win in his hands. He exited turn 1 and he lost the rear. And now Chaz F1 retakes the lead without a penalty. And if Chaz F1 does get a penalty, then they will be fighting for the lead. But look at the disconfidence in Kian's reaction with the
tyres are
wheel.
gone. Look at those the front tyres. You can see the graining.
Chaz
They're
F1.
definitely over 60%.
Kian.
Chaz has still got to be careful though. We don't know if Kian in this last lap can bring back the confidence, and if Chaz pushes too hard and gets that penalty, it could come down to the final corner.
We never know. We never know. Kian Reynolds, 2 wins to his name. Chaz F1, 1 win to his name. When we didn't even know Chaz had won because the game messed up. Hopefully this time, if he does win on track, I can't ride on board. Chaz is giving me heart attacks.
say the same thing.
Right.
Ian's brought it back into a second. They're both in danger of punctures, I think, at this rate. So it could all come down to this final lap.
Right. In the new dawn, it doesn't matter about the team because the Aston Martin are still out in front. They're still 1-2. Kian, 9/10 to his teammate. He's going to have to hope and pray Chaz makes a mistake and gets the 3-second penalty that he so desires. But even if he does, he still has to overtake him. Chaz is low on ERS. Kian is low on ERS. They pass turn 1, 2 and 3 where history has had so much climactic action. And now we pass into turn 4. Time is running out for Kian Reynolds, but it'll still be P2 at least for him. That's 18 more points than he can say for last season. It might not be the win, but it's at least a strong start. He got pole, and at the moment,
pushing a lot.
It's looking like it's going to be P2. He's really closing the gap down, but out in front, Chaz F1 is just holding him off. Even with those 2 spins and those 2 mistakes he's made, he's in the lead, and he just might about hold on to this win. Kian Reynolds does have the ERS, he does have the DRS, he has the slipstream, he has everything going for him. Same as his teammate, but it's not enough as everything's going on in the background with Nathan and JJ Francis. We're going to watch this last sector of the Grand Prix. Chaz F1, little twitch. No, Chaz! He's got the penalty!
This is the time for Kian Reynolds in the final corner.
So here we go.
Get the slipstream, and it's all coming down to the line.
Kian Reynolds, I don't think if he sends it, it's going to be crazy. But he has his teammates' trust, and he's done enough. Chaz F1 round the final corner for a second time in EXFL and starting the season off in style. Chaz F1 wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Kian Reynolds, angry with himself, will finish second. He's crashed. I'm a Wild Map comes home to finish P3 on the road. Seb will get P4 on the road, but I think Smithy will get P4. He will, because Seb has a penalty. P5 for the Haas. Chaz F1 starts the season off. It really came down to the second last corner. He got the penalty, but he had enough. He was ahead. Kian tried all he could, but after what Thies did to him at the start, he's going to be having words as he finishes 8th, does the Ferrari. James P7. Nathan will be just ahead as P9, but JJ Francis and Nathan. Oh, JJ Francis has spun off Nathan. But Nathan, there's going to be so much. I don't know if the results will change, but Nathan comes home on the road for P9. JJ Francis 10th. Warren will be 11th. And we'll see how things plan out. But I think we know for definite. The race winner, Chaz F1, he starts the season off even with faulty connections, even with 2 spins, even with getting a penalty on the second last corner. He's done enough, and he came into this season wanting it more than he ever has. He's got the determination, and now he's started off the season with a win. His second to equal Kian as well with his 2 wins. Aston Martin 1-2, and Chaz F1 is back. What a race. What a race. There's going to be a lot of acrimony. But we see the Aston Martins on top once again. Whew. Nick, speak to me.
I'm struggling.
Can we have a normal race for once?
I saw Chaz through turn 12 lose the rear, and then I saw that curb get closer, and I thought he was going to get away with it, but it popped up. Then Kian sent it on the brakes. I thought Kian on the exit, but he just got on the power a little bit too early and lost it. And it's been an unfortunate race for both of them. I mean, very much so for Kian Reynolds, being taken out twice, and I believe his penalty wasn't necessarily the fairest. But as we know in EXFL, we can't get rid of these 3 seconds, so you just got to try your best and keep him in the track limits. But Chaz, he's been, both of them have been through it all today, through spins, through contact, and at the end, they've landed both safely at the top of the table. And I mean, the team and both of them have got to be proud of it.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, Kian does get the fastest lap point, so it's 19 for him, not 18. So 6 points between them. I got to give applause to both Aston Martins. They were pushing every lap, and they both even managed to deliver the fastest laps. I mean, only I think Crew de Vase put in a faster lap by 2,000ths to Chaz. But he made his way back up to P6, the Red Bull. But yes, Chaz F1 is back, and he starts the season off with a win. Let's try and get him in the party. I mean, we can try and get Kian in, but I'm a bit scared what he might say. Right, make sure to include your audio, Chaz. Right, if you've included your audio, Chaz
I
F1!
don't know if you can hear me right now, mate, to be honest, but...
We can hear you, we can hear you. You've just won the Bahrain Grand Prix. How are you feeling?
Oh, I got so shaky at the end, man.
Yep, you spun early on. You spun again. You got the 3 seconds with 2 corners to go. What was going through your mind during that race?
To be fair, the whole race I was scared of bugging out. Because of my connection.
Yeah, we
But
said...
I was determined to race, and I made it work.
You did indeed. We were riding on board with you a lot, and it obviously you went into the pits, but for us you stayed out, and then you were in the pits moments later. But that's your second win now in EXFL, equal with your teammate. Yeah, just take it in.
Finally, I get a win off pace and not through luck.
Take it all in. You've started off the
Feel like
season in the best
Austria.
way possible. A win's a win, but this one was better, right?
Can I just say to everyone I affect with my connection, this is only a one-off thing, alright? It will be all fine by next week.
Nick, he wasn't even involved in any incidents, was he?
No, I mean, probably.
Jack's upset with me because apparently I put him into the safety car.
Oh, did he get damage or something?
I don't know.
Well, whatever happens, I think you have won, and you started the season off in the best way possible for yourself. Kian, obviously angry. Oh,
Yeah.
how were you feeling when he got the gap on lap 28 to 3 seconds?
My tyres were dying, so I kind of knew it was coming, I guess.
And how did you feel when he made that mistake?
To be fair, I had no reaction to it because I was just trying to stay calm because I knew that if I made a mistake, he would have got it back.
Right. So Kian, if you want to include your audio and be sensible, we'll interview you. Right. Right, so have you included your audio, Kian?
Include my audio, and I'm going to speak politely.
Right, P2.
It was a great race, though. Me and Chazza, equal on pace.
Right, I'm not going to ask your thoughts about lap 1, but
Yeah.
I'll ask your thoughts about lap 28, because you got the gap to 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And then what happened in turn 1?
So I got the lap to 3 seconds. And then I was like, come on, we need to push to get this couple tenths. I've got the pace over him now. But then put the throttle down and it just went away. Trying a bit too hard, but I was gonna send it on the last corner as well. But I was like, you know what? I'm a grown man. No, but I was gonna send it, but I was like, you know what? It's a 1-2 for the team. I'd rather.
It is a 1-2. Yeah, it's only.
That's like, you know what?
one.
For the team, for the constructors, we'll take the points. I had fastest lap and pole anyway.
Yeah.
So it was like, you know what? It's do it for the team. Is a good race.
You said to me
GG
before
to
the race,
Chaz.
get a line all ready for you to win.
Mhm.
But I had to use it for Chaz. But it's only round 1 of 22. It's still a 1-2. It's still a good result. Crazy race. A great comebacks from both of you. Nick, do you have anything to ask Kian or Chaz?
I mean, you
Void lap 28. Void lap 28.
God's sake,
again,
man.
boys.
Void lap. Bro, GG though, Chaz. I thought I was gonna catch you quicker.
It was awesome. We didn't actually see any overtakes between you two. You kept
We,
spinning
I mean,
and then letting you.
I was constantly.
Oh, it was
I
No,
was
but to be
constantly-
fair, right? To be fair, you should. My start, I was basically.
Your
ahead of
start was
Kian, and all of a sudden
mega.
I just see red. I just see red.
I'm on board with Chaz, and I just see a Ferrari. Meow.
Kian, that was a little PTSD for you, wasn't it?
That's
Yeah.
what I said it just the other way round.
Wasn't
But
as
it's,
bad.
I mean, all I was doing was looking at the front, and then obviously everything happened. The Kian was the 3 seconds, and then I'm looking at the back of the pack, and Jaden's like, Kian, and I'm like, what's happened to Kian?
So, Chaz, what happened at turn 10? You spun a bit and let Kian through.
I can't lie, that was funny. I'm driving, I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
the
shit,
outside curve really ruined you there. I was
It
trying to
does.
stay off it the whole time.
And then obviously Kian with the turn 1 exit. But what's happened. Kian, you're obviously going to be investigated with these to see what's going to happen, and also with James.
Wait, I'm under investigation.
No,
I'm under investigation.
You're part of the investigation. You and Thieves.
What?
Same...
So, what? I get a 5-second time penalty for just being there.
No, you're part of the
turning in.
incident.
What
You're
can I
part of the
say?
incident. Anyway, same with James. Anyway, that will. Chaz didn't get involved, so Chaz is definitely the race winner.
I don't know, there's Jack's guys getting a bit angry at him, you know.
He got a true. He got a drive through. He could have been right
Yeah, it's
with
not
you.
my fault you got to drive through.
These just AI, but you know, I'll take the P2, it's another podium.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We've still got a long way to go. And now Saudi in 7 days.
Well, I wish I can go that 3 seconds though, because basically, right, James was being a beep, 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 beep.
Yep.
So obviously I'd just been straight lined, so I was a bit annoyed. So he kept sending it, so I tried to push him off, but then we both went off, and I got 3 seconds for it. And then, yeah, it is what it is. It's what it is. But
It is what it is.
P2 is not fastest
Well-
lap and pole. I'll take that. P2
Well,
it's not
thanks-
exactly a bad result, but
Yeah, thanks for giving us a show. Hopefully we'll see you
Oh, you
actually overtake each other
yeah,
instead of
except
spin to give
anything
the
I
position.
did wasn't
In
for the
Saudi.
show.
Chaz, you're really quick at
Saudi.
Saudi, so I'm interested to see what Kian will do.
Oh, I'm shit at Saudi. Oh, sorry, language, but Chaz can have it. Chaz can have Saudi. I'll
It's
just
fine.
wait for some more better tracks.
Right, well done to Kian on the P2. We'll see if you can get P1 in Saudi. Well done to Chaz on your second victory, perfect fashion, and we'll see you in 7 days.